Spring break plans usually fall apart at least once before they actually happen. That's just how it goes. Someone cancels last minute, someone else can't afford it, someone's car breaks down. But that year, somehow, everything lined up. There were 5 of us: me, Tyler, Jess, Marcus, and Evan. Evan was the one who planned the whole thing. He was that guy, the one who made spreadsheets for trips, who knew the best routes, the cheapest gas stops, the exact time we should leave to avoid traffic. If something went wrong, Evan was the one who fixed it before anyone else even noticed. We were heading down to South Padre Island, 10-hour drive from Austin, give or take. We left late, of course we did. It was close to midnight by the time we got out of the city. Music blasting, windows cracked just enough to let in that warm Texas air. Evan was driving. He liked driving at night, said it felt calmer. Around 2 a.m., things started to slow down. Not the car, just us. Conversations got quieter. Music turned into background noise. Tyler fell asleep in the back seat, head against the window. Evan was still awake, wide awake. I remember glancing over at him at one point. His eyes were fixed on the road, but something about his expression felt distant. Not tired, not distracted, just somewhere else. "You good?" I asked. He nodded. Didn't look at me. "Yeah, just thinking." That was normal for him. I didn't push it. About 30 minutes later, he pulled over. No warning, just slowed down, turned onto the shoulder, and stopped. "What happened?" Jess asked from the back. Evan didn't answer right away. He just sat there, hands still on the wheel. Then he said, "I think I missed something back there." "What do you mean?" Marcus said. "I don't know. Just felt like I passed something I wasn't supposed to." We all looked at each other like, "What does that even mean?" "Dude, it's 2 in the morning, Tyler mumbled, half asleep. "You didn't miss anything." Evan didn't argue. He just sat there another few seconds, then put the car back in drive. We didn't think about it again. That was the last time we saw him. The official story is that he must have gotten out at the next gas stop. That's what the police said. Problem is, none of us remember stopping. We remember the road, the music, the drive. We remember Evan driving, and then, at some point, without any kind of moment or transition, Marcus was in the driver's seat, like he had always been there. We didn't notice it right away. That's the part that still messes with me. It wasn't until Jess asked, "Where's Evan?" that everything kind of snapped into place. Marcus looked confused. "What do you mean? Where's Evan?" He glanced in the rearview mirror, then over at me. "I thought he was with you." "That doesn't make sense." It didn't then. It doesn't now. We pulled over immediately, checked the back seat, the trunk, everything. His phone was gone. His bag was gone, like he had never been in the car. We called him, straight to voicemail. We texted him, no response. At first, we tried to stay calm. Maybe he got out at a stop, and we somehow didn't notice. Maybe he took an Uber. Maybe his phone died. None of it made sense, but we were trying to force it to. About 10 minutes later, Jess's phone buzzed. Group chat. "Evan, you guys passed the turn." We all just stared at the screen. Marcus laughed. Nervous. "Okay, so he's messing with us. Call him," I said. He did. Voicemail. Another message came in. "You need to go back." Jess typed back immediately. "Where are you?" Typing bubble appeared. Then disappeared. Then came back. Then the message. "I'm still in the car." Nobody said anything for a few seconds. Then Tyler laughed. "Okay, that's not funny." I turned around slowly, scanning the back seat. Empty. Completely empty. "Evan, seriously, where are you?" Marcus said, louder this time. Like volume would somehow make it real. Another message. "Don't look back." Jess dropped her phone. Nope, that's not him." But it was his number. His contact. His name. We tried calling again. Voicemail. Then another message. "If you look back, I won't be where you expect." At that point, Marcus hit the gas. Didn't say anything, just drove, fast. Nobody argued. Phones stayed in our hands, like we were waiting for something worse to happen. And it did. Another message came through. "Why did you leave me?" Jess whispered. "We didn't. Then, I got out because you told me to." Marcus shook his head. "I never. You said you missed something." That's when we all remembered. The shoulder, the stop, Evan saying he missed something. But none of us told him to get out. None of us remember him getting out. The messages kept coming. Not fast, not spammy, just steady, like someone was thinking before typing. "I'm still walking. I can see the car." Marcus looked in the mirror again. Nothing. "Why won't you stop?" Jess started crying, quiet, trying not to lose it completely. Tyler wasn't laughing anymore. Then, the last message came. "I'm right behind you." Marcus slammed the brakes. The car skidded slightly on the empty road. For a split second, everything was completely silent. Then, a knock from the trunk. Nobody moved, nobody breathed. Another knock, slower, heavier. Marcus whispered, We didn't put him in there." No one answered, because no one could. We didn't open it, we didn't check. Marcus just drove, faster than before. Didn't stop until we hit a rest area with other cars, lights, people. When we finally opened the trunk, it was empty. Police never found Evan. They checked cameras, gas stations, everything. No footage of him leaving the car. No record of him anywhere after that night. But his number still exists. The group chat is still there. We never deleted it. About a month later, at 2:17 a.m., I got a message. Just me, not the group. "You finally looked back." I didn't reply. I didn't sleep. And I still haven't changed my number. Because a part of me is still waiting for the next message. And another part of me is terrified it'll say, "Now it's your turn to get out." There's a certain kind of hotel you end up in during spring break when everything decent is already booked. Not dangerous, not outright disgusting, just off. The kind where the carpet feels slightly damp no matter how long you stand on it. Where the lighting is too dim in the hallways, like they're saving money on electricity. Where every door looks exactly the same. And you start to feel like you're walking in circles even when you're not. That's where we stayed. 4 of us. Me, Rachel, Kim, and Danny. 3 nights. That's all it was supposed to be. Check-in was normal enough, except for one thing. The guy at the front desk didn't give us key cards. He gave us an actual key. Metal. Heavy. Room 317. He slid it across the counter and said, "If you don't want to be disturbed, just use the sign." We all kind of laughed. "That's what it's for, right?" Danny said. He didn't smile. The hallway on the 3rd floor felt quieter than the others. Not silent, just muted. Like sound didn't travel the same way up there. Our room was near the end. 317. Next to 319. There was no 318. Just a blank space between the doors. No number. No handle. Just wall. Rachel noticed it first. "That's weird. Probably just skipped it," Kim said. "Hotels do that sometimes." We didn't question it. We should have. The first night was fine. Loud, messy, typical spring break stuff. We came back late, threw our bags around, passed out. At some point during the night I woke up, didn't know why, just awake. The room was dark, except for that faint orange glow from the hallway bleeding under the door, and something felt wrong. I couldn't explain it. Just that feeling like someone else is in the room. I sat up, looked around. Everyone was asleep, but the bathroom light was on. The door was slightly open. I was sure we'd turned it off. I got up, walked over, and pushed the door open. Nothing. Empty. Light buzzing softly. I turned it off and went back to bed. Told myself I imagined it. Next morning, everything felt normal again. Until Danny picked up the "Do Not Disturb" sign from the floor. "Which one of you took this off the door?" she asked. None of us had. Rachel swore she put it on before we went to sleep. We brushed it off. Someone must have taken it down without thinking. Second night, we put the sign on again. Made a joke out of it this time. "Let's see if the ghost wants room service," Kim said. We laughed, went out, came back around 1 a.m. The sign was gone. Not on the door, not on the floor, gone. Rachel frowned. "Okay, that's not funny. Maybe housekeeping?" Danny said. At 1 in the morning, no one answered that. We went inside. Room was exactly how we left it, except the TV was on. Static. Low volume. Kim muted it. "Okay, seriously, did someone leave this on?" No one had. That night, none of us slept well. I kept waking up. Every time. The same thing. That feeling. Like something had shifted slightly when I wasn't looking. Around 3 a.m., I heard it. A knock. Soft. 3 times. Not loud enough to wake everyone, but loud enough that I knew I didn't imagine it. I sat there, listening. Nothing. Then another 3 knocks. Same rhythm. Rachel whispered from the other bed. "You hear that?" I nodded, even though she couldn't see me. Danny sat up. "Who is that?" No one answered. The knocking didn't come again. Not that night. In morning, the sign was back, hanging on the door, perfectly straight, from the outside. We didn't touch it. We didn't open the door right away. We just stood there, staring. Finally, Kim reached forward and opened it. Slowly. The hallway was empty, but the sign wasn't facing outward. It was flipped, facing the door, like it had been hung for us. That's when we noticed something else. The blank wall where room 318 should have been wasn't blank anymore. There was a door, no number, just a handle, slightly open. None of us remembered deciding to look inside, but we did. The room was dark, completely empty, except for one thing. On the far wall was our door, 317, from the inside, and hanging on it, the Do Not Disturb sign. We checked out that morning, didn't stay the third night, didn't argue about it, didn't even really talk about it. A week later, I checked the hotel online, just to prove to myself it was normal, that nothing was wrong. There is no room 317. The floor plan skips from 315 to 319, and there's no record of our booking, but I still have the key. And sometimes, late at night, I hear 3 knocks, soft, slow, waiting for me to answer. Spring break kind of blurs together after a few days. The first couple are loud, checking in, figuring out sleeping arrangements, running to Walmart at midnight because someone forgot something basic. Everyone's on their phones constantly, posting, replying, checking who's where. Then it slows down. Not in a bad way, just quieter. People stop checking their phones every 5 minutes. Conversations stretch out longer. You start leaving your phone on the counter instead of carrying it everywhere. That's how it was for us. There were 6 of us staying in a rental house in Clearwater. Me, my girlfriend Lila, her friend Casey, Casey's boyfriend Drew, and 2 guys from our college, Nate and Connor. Nothing about the place felt off. It was one of those newer homes, open living room, sliding glass door to a small backyard, cheap furniture that looks nice in photos. Normal. The first few days went exactly how you'd expect. By day 4, things felt settled. And that's when I started noticing small things. It began with Nate. He was the kind of guy who always had his phone in his hand. Even if he wasn't using it, it was there. You'd talk to him and he'd glance down mid-conversation without realizing it. So when I noticed his phone sitting untouched on the coffee table for a while, it stood out. We were all in the living room, half watching something, half just zoning out. I checked my phone out of habit, and I saw his name, Nate, active now. I looked up. He was leaning back on the couch, staring at the TV, hands empty. His phone was right in front of me, screen dark. "Yo," I said, nudging it with my foot. "You on your phone?" He glanced over. "Nah, it says you're active." He shrugged. Probably background apps or something. That sounded normal enough. Stuff glitches all the time. I didn't think about it again until later that night. We were out at a bar, nothing crazy, just loud enough that you had to lean in to talk. At one point, Casey grabbed my arm and showed me her phone. You see this? It was our group chat. A new message had just come in. Connor, where'd you guys go? I turned. Connor was right next to me, like close enough that our shoulders were touching. You just send that? I asked. He frowned. Send what? Casey tilted her phone toward him. That. He pulled out his phone, looked at it, then looked back at us. I didn't type that. The message was there. Sent. From him. Time-stamped maybe 10 seconds earlier. We laughed it off. You kind of have to in that situation. Phones bug out. Messages send late. Something like that. Nobody wanted to make it weird. The next day felt off. Not in a big way, just small things. You'd say something, and someone would respond a second too late, like they'd already heard it before you finished. People would check their phones, frown, then lock them without saying anything. At one point, Lila showed me her screen. Look at Casey. Casey was sitting across the room, talking to Drew, both hands wrapped around a drink. No phone. But on Lila's phone, Casey is typing. It stayed there, longer than it should. Then it disappeared. No message came through. You text her? I asked. Lila shook her head. Maybe she started typing and stopped. But Casey hadn't even touched her phone. It was sitting face down on the table. That's when it stopped feeling like a glitch. Not because of one thing, just the pattern. That night, we were all back at the house. No music, no TV, just sitting around. Someone brought it up again. Connor, I think. Okay, real talk, he said. Has anyone else had weird stuff with their phone today? No one answered right away. Then Nate said, yeah, and that was enough. We started comparing. Not in a panicked way, just trying to make sense of it. People showing active when they weren't using their phones. Messages appearing slightly out of order. Typing indicators that didn't lead to anything. Notifications that disappeared before you could open them. Individually, none of it meant anything. Together, it felt wrong. At some point, Drew said, all right, let's just test it. We all agreed. Simple. We put our phones on the table. Didn't touch them, just sat there. Nothing happened at first. A few minutes went by. Someone made a joke about us being paranoid. Then Connor's phone lit up. He didn't touch it. None of us did. A message appeared in the group chat. From him, we should probably head out soon. He stared at it. I didn't type that. But the weird part wasn't the message. It was the timing. Because a second later, he said it out loud. Almost the exact same sentence. Like the thought had already formed, and the message just got there first. No one laughed that time. Nate reached for his phone, then stopped halfway. I was just about to, he said. Then didn't finish. No one wanted to test it again. After that, we just stopped using our phones as much, left them in rooms, turned off notifications, told ourselves it was nothing, that it'd stop if we ignored it, and it mostly did. Or at least, we stopped noticing. The last night felt normal again. Almost too normal, like the kind of quiet you get right before something ends. I was packing up in the bedroom, grabbing chargers and random stuff off the nightstand. My phone had been sitting there most of the day. I hadn't used it in hours. When I picked it up, the screen turned on. I didn't unlock it, didn't press anything. There was a notification, no sound, no vibration. Just there, from my own number. Not a saved contact, just my number. The message preview was short. You already checked this once. I stared at it, trying to figure out what I was looking at. It didn't make sense. I unlocked the phone. The message was there, inside a thread I'd never seen before. No name, no history, just that one line. I closed it immediately, didn't respond, didn't even scroll. I told myself it was nothing, a glitch, some weird sync issue. I put the phone back down, finished packing, didn't think about it again. We left early the next morning. Everyone was quiet on the drive back, not in a creepy way, just tired. A couple days later, things felt normal again. Phones worked fine, no weird messages, no strange activity. Except for one thing. Every now and then, usually late at night, I'll open my messages without really thinking. And for a second, just a second, I'll see a thread at the top. No name, no number, just blank. And it disappears before I can tap it, like it was never there. I haven't seen the message again. Not fully, but sometimes, when I unlock my phone, it already feels like I've opened something, and I can't tell if I actually did, or if I just don't remember it.